So perhaps if we start with a meditation um, before we move into a more dynamic practice. So just perhaps make yourself comfortable to sit for a few minutes before we begin moving, any position at all that you like. But as you get yourself ready and as you come to a position, see if you can already begin to become aware of your physical body. So just noticing arms and legs and back and the form of your body. And notice also that the body is alive, and so noticing how the body feels. So whether the body feels tired or well, or if there's any aches or pains or any issues. Notice the breath. You might even, if you focus, you might notice a pulsation or a vibration that pervades the body. And also including in your awareness your mind. So how are you? And emotionally, how are you and how have you been? And then perhaps noticing what for some of us, me definitely, feels a bit more elusive is the inner voice, or the part of us that is intuitive and deeply intelligent, beyond the mind. And I just want to acknowledge that all of these aspects of ourselves, all of these parts of us, can be well, and they can also be they can also not function so well. And I think for many of us in this lockdown experience, I think a lot of us are struggling with things not functioning so well. And just for now, I wonder if you can be aware of all of those parts of us that can be well or can be not so well. And imagine as if they're all contained by a final fifth part of us. And that this fifth part of us in yoga could be called Anandamayakosha. They all have names, but I won't go into that. But this fifth level of our experience or of our existence could be called Anandamayakosha, or it could also be the container that holds all of these parts of us together. And another way of naming it, well, there are lots of ways of naming it, could be the self or the true self. So I wonder if you can focus in on the container just now rather than the parts. And if you would like to do this with a mudra, I can't remember if we did this last week or not, it's Shankh Mudra. But if you take your left hand and wrap the fingers of your right hand around the left thumb, like this. I think we did it last week. So you just wrap the fingers of the right hand around the left thumb, and then the left fingers kind of cover the right fingers, and the tip of the right thumb touches the tip of the middle finger, and it forms what looks a little bit like a shell. So if you'd like to have a mudra, you can. And this mudra is used traditionally often in temples, but I wanted to use it to represent in a way the container or the true self. So seeing if you can focus in on this part of you and acknowledge or notice that this part of you, the true self, cannot be wounded or burdened or traumatized. It cannot be broken. So rather than being led by the other parts of us, which can sometimes really take over our system, I wonder if you can connect into the true self and perhaps be guided by that just as we breathe here now. And if you get any sense of this container or this self, seeing if you can not lose sight of it as you release your hands down. Perhaps keep your eyes closed and just very simply as you breathe in, take the arms out and up over your head. Bring the palms together, and as you breathe out, bring the hands down the center line. And just repeat that movement a few times, inhaling, arms lifting out and up, exhaling, palms come down the center line. And see if you can repeat this movement with the breath while staying focused on the self. And then I wonder if you can carry on, maybe for another couple of rounds, but have a go doing it with your eyes gently open. So let the gaze be soft, maybe lowered. And even though your eyes may be open, can you stay connected to the self? Maybe just do one more. And then if you bring when you bring your hands down next time, maybe close the eyes and return to stillness.